Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, beings and beasts from this and other universes, and you are watching WoWFilms. Now, today I'm going to keep going with the Cataclysm preview. I'm going to be talking some more about the classes. I'm sorry, I've still got the same background because I couldn't think of any suitable footage. Now, I'm sorry if you hear me clicking in the background. That's me reading through the notes because I do actually have the notes up right here. So I'm going to first go through the core bits of each class, and then I might come back and do some of the extra bits. So first of all, I'm going to be doing them in the order that the notes came out. So start off with the Shaman. At level 3, they get Primal Strike, which is basically, Heroic Strike, Crusader Strike. That's all the details it has here. Then at level 4, let me see, direct healing arsenal. So it's a little like Healing Wave. The current Healing Wave will be renamed Greater Healing Wave, and this new spell is intended to be the Shaman's go-to heal, apparently. So, at level 81, each class has a new spell at level 81, 83 and 85, and sometimes they have a couple of extra ones. So level 81, it says Unleash Weapon. Unleashes the power of your weapon enchants for additional effects. See below. A dual-wielding enhancement shaman will activate the effects of both of their weapon enchants. Instant cast. So here are the examples of the effects that Blizzard are considering. So, Wind Fury Weapon hurls a spectral version of your weapon at the target, dealing 50% weapon damage and increasing haste. Flame Tongue Weapon deals instant fire damage and buffs the Shaman's next fire attack by 20%. Earth Living heals the target slightly and buffs the Shaman's next healing spell by 20%. This is a 30-yard range and a 15 cooldown. Now, I have to say that I do not play Chamois very often, etc, and even having not played Chamois, this is continuing their role of slightly OP, if you know what I mean. It's going to be interesting to see dwarves using that ability. So Healing Rain, 2-second cast time, 30-yard range, 10-second duration, 10-second cooldown. Wow. Okay, so any effects heal over time that cools down rain in a selected area, healing all players within it. There is no limit to the number of players who can potentially be affected. So the more people that are healed, the less it heals them. So this is basically like Rain of Fire for a Warlock, other than the fact that it's not channeled and that it heals. Now, level 85, we have Spirit Walker's Grace. When this self-targeted buff is active, your spells are no longer interrupted by movement and possibly even by your own attacks. This will give the Shaman of all 3 specs another way to heal or do damage when it's necessary. So, Blizzard did say that they were intending to, rationalise the way that they design boss fights. All 4 of the healing classes can now dispel magic, so they know that if they want to make a core debuff for a boss fight, then they can make it magic. There are some debuffs where it doesn't really matter if it's not dispelled, but now they know that they can make something a core part of the fight, like a core mechanic, and still make it magic, and everyone will be able to cleanse it. So this is a little bit like that, whereas they also said that they would like people to be able to heal damage and tank on the move. That's why hunters are now being able to, and I think other people as well, are now being able to shoot when they're moving. So this is basically it. 10-second duration, 2-minute cooldown, so it's going to be one of the cooldown poppers. Changes to abilities and mechanics, let's see. Restoration, Shaman and other healing classes will need to pay attention to mana more than they've had to during Wrath of the Lich King. Spirit will be the Resto Chamois' primary mana regeneration stat, making changes to which classes and specs are able to dispel magic, so I was talking about that. Cleansing Totem will be removed, as we want dispels to be a decision for players. Dispels are going to cost a lot more mana. Totem of Wrath will now replace Flame Tongue Totem for a Shaman, There is a little bit more here, but it's, just very small percentages, so I'm going to let you look this up yourself. I will put the link in the description if I can. So none of this really means much to me, because as I said, I've never played a chamois really past level 16. I got to level 16, got my wolf, ran around, got bored, stopped playing. So, next we want to free up enhancement global cooldowns to make the spec more dynamic to play. They're increasing the cooldown of Lava Lash so that the shaman can have time to work on other interesting abilities into their rotation. Right, okay, I am going to come back to the shaman in more detail later. Priest, April 7th. Hang on, it's just loading. So, new priest spells, heal, available at level 16. Now, isn't that a brilliant name? So original, So, while priests already have a spell called heal, the existing version becomes obsolete at high levels. Something we intend to change in Cataclysm. Introducing at a low level, the new heal spell will functionally work much like a down-ranked greater heal, so that's it, basically. Now I get onto the high-level spells. Mind Spike, at level 81, deals Shadow Frost damage and puts a debuff on the target that improves subsequent Mind Spike damage. The intent of Mind Spike is to fill a niche missing in Shadow DPS that may occasionally be useful for healers as well. It provides a quick nuke to use in situations where the priest doesn't have time to set up the normal rotation, such as when ads are dying too fast or you have to swap targets a lot. Now, I've been playing on my Shadow Priest a lot recently. Actually, it's my dad's Shadow Priest, but whatever. So, I've been thinking, I don't want to have to apply not Mind Blast, Devouring Plague, Shadow Word Pain, all of that stuff, Vampiric Touch, before target dies, and you can't exactly spam Mind Blast because of its cooldown, so this could be interesting for me. 1.5 second cast, 30 yard range, no cooldown. Brilliant. And it does extra damage, so it also provides Shadow with a spell to cast when locked out of the Shadow School. Okay, Inner Will. Increases movement speed by 12% and reduces the mana cost of all instant cast spells by 10%. This buff will be exclusive with Inner Fire, meaning you can't have both up at once. Inner Fire provides spell power and armor buff. Inner Will should be useful on a more situational basis, and it doesn't say anything about the cooldown or anything, so I assume it'll just be like Inner Fire. This is actually quite interesting, because the priest class is getting quite a lot for movement speed, and again it may just be something to do with the sorry, I've lost my trail of thought. It may just be something to do with, as I was talking about, the different parts of the more mobility in raid healing. Okay, let's get back to the priest thing. Leap of Faith, level 85. Pull a party or raid member to your location. Leap of Faith, or Life Grip, is intended to give priests a tool to help rescue fellow players who have pulled aggro, are being focused in PvP, or just can't seem to get out of fire in time. Instant 30 yard range, 45 second cooldown. Now, I think it's a real shame that it's a party or raid member, because I had one of those moments there when you think, it's like when someone's eating an ice cream and you just have that irresistible feel to push it right up into their face, because if it didn't say party or raid member, you could just do it to anyone. I see one primary use for this, and it is sitting at the back of the Stormwind auction house, targeting anyone random and pulling them away. Very annoying, a bit like sitting with your Tundra Mammoth on top of the mailbox. You get the idea. Changes to abilities and mechanics, because I'm running out of time, so I will make another video. All hots and dots will benefit from haste, blah blah blah. You want to bring back Shadow Word Death as an execute, as something you will do when the target is 25% health. Good, because you don't really use Shadow Word Death on bosses. While we do want to keep the priest role as a well-rounded healer, we also want to make sure the class is a viable tank healer, which is something priests moved away from a little bit. Divine Spirit and Prayer of Spirit will be removed from the game, as Spirit will be the primary mana regeneration stat. We don't want it to vary as much between solo, small group and raid play. Bok and Mark of the Wild will not produce Spirit either. Mana will be a bigger consideration for all healers. We've looked at that. So I'm going to go back, and the next one here is the Warlock. I am running out of time, so as I said, I will make another video because this is going on quite a lot. New Warlock spells, level 81, Fell Flame. Quick hitting spell dealing shadow fire damage. This is similar to the mage ability Frost Firebolt and Mind Spike that the priests have, may I mention, in that the lower of the two resistances. Blah blah blah. Yep, instant cast, it says at the bottom, and it says also, did we mention it uses green fire? Cool. Dark Intent, level 83, increases the target's chance for a critical effect with periodic damage or healing spells by 3%. When the target lands a crit, you get a buff to your damage for 10 seconds. This effect stacks up to 3 times. Doesn't say anything about cooldown. Demon Soul, level 85, fuses the Warlock's soul with his or her demon. This provides Warlocks with a self-burst cooldown to use the specific effects granted by Demon Soul depending on the demon chosen. 20 seconds duration depending on the demon used, 2-minute cooldown. Soul Shard Overhaul. I'm not going to read all of this because it's just a lot. And basically, Soul Shards won't longer be in your inventory, they'll be a resource. Changes to class mechanics. All Warlock dots will benefit from crit and haste. Curse of Agony and Curse of Doom will be converted into Bane of Agony and Bane of Doom. Hellfire will no longer deal damage to the Warlock. Good. Imps will lose Fire Shield, but will gain a new ability, Burning Ember, which is a stacking dot. Cool. The Succubus melee range will be increased. The Succubus will no longer have Soothing Kiss, but will instead will have Whiplash, which knocks back all enemies in 8 yards. Voidwalk Torment will do increased damage and generate a lot of area of effect threat. Okay, Warlock went quickly. Now I've gone to the Warrior. See how much time I've got left. Hang on a minute. Okay, we're on the 12-minute mark, so I'll do the Warrior and then I'll make a different video for the next. So, new Warrior abilities. Inner Rage at level 81. Whenever the character reaches a full 100% rage, he or she will gain a buff that causes attacks to consume 50% more rage and do 15% more damage for a short amount of time. That's 50 and 15, not the other way around. This is a passive ability. So the goal for this ability is to provide benefit for hitting max rage and not wasting it, basically. Gushing Wound, level 83. This ability will apply a bleed effect to the target. If the target moves, the bleed gains an extra stack and refreshes its duration up to a maximum of 3 stacks. So obviously PvP. Heroic Leap, level 85. This ability makes the character leap at their target and apply the Thunderclap ability. Changes to abilities and mechanics. By the way, this is a little bit shortened. In addition to learning new abilities, you'll see changes to other abilities and mechanics. Blah blah blah. Heroic Strike will no longer be an on-next swing attack, which is great, as we are removing this mechanic in Cataclysm. Battle Shout, Commanding Shout, possibly Demoralizing Shout will work more or less like the Death Knight's Horn of Winter ability. Whirlwind will hit an unlimited number of targets. Overall heals cast by players in Cataclysm no longer relative to the player's health in current game. Sunder Armour will be reduced to 3 stacks instead of 5, and still only provide a 4% reduction in armour per stack. Okay, so guys, I'm going to round that up because it's getting close, so see you in the next video. Bye.